All right, we are live and in charge.
We're live.
All right.
We're alive.
Any lightning effects?
On a podcast where the world. That's all I got.
That's all you got, huh?
That's it.
In a world where podcasting has become nope, I can't do it either. I just
Joe's like, I'm
can't think on
not
the
trying. Joe's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not playing this.
In a
game.
world where podcasting is the only form of social interaction available.
There we go.
Nice.
Good afternoon. Today is Friday, July 24th, 2020. Today, we're going to talk about Twitter subscriptions. Should we? The new possible lightning cables coming to iPhone and iPad, and a whole lot more because this is the iMore show. And joining us today, every week as usual, the assistant managing editor of iMore, Joe Keller. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Good. It's been a long week. It's really nice to just get together and have some fun, do some chatting.
Yeah.
And also joining us this week is wonderful and head of anxiety-videos.com, Georgia Dell. Welcome to the show, Georgia.
I am actually happy to be here. I don't know if Joe is as happy as he.
Joe's kind of out of it.
Joe's a little
checked
tired. Joe's a little bit tired. He's exceptionally happy on the inside, but he just didn't have the energy to show it on the outside.
Yeah. So great to be here. Yeah.
It was the pause beforehand.
I know. Thinking about it.
What's
Do I really want to spend a Friday with Lori and Georgia?
I do actually. I'm just
Would I rather be swimming or drinking
well, there we go. That's fair.
whiskey? Yes,
That would be fair.
but
really sleeping.
Sleeping should trump all. That's fair.
Yep. So for those watching, not listening, I have to point out, Georgia, that your office is different. You've removed a large piece of furniture that was there before. Are you just cleaning up in there? Just doing something new?
Yeah, we moved the beds that were behind.
Yeah.
So it's still not really neat. So at some point.
But I can also see some toys on your table back there.
Yeah, sure. I'll bring one of them out. Here, they're all little baby Yodas.
Oh,
so I have just 100,000 baby Yodas.
I know
everywhere.
we shouldn't be doing this for the listeners, but
Because
for anybody
they're just
watching,
little cute plastic baby Yodas.
Yeah.
And they're
Now I'm
just really cute little creatures.
I took
and
mine
I
out of
went
the box,
plushy.
Georgia.
Did you? I didn't yet. They're still.
I
They're
almost
still in
didn't,
there.
but then I thought, you know what? I don't
I have
care.
all
I love
kinds of
them. I
stuff.
want to play
have
with
fix
them.
this. This guy's broken.
Oh.
It's missing a horn. Oh no.
Will you wear that for Halloween this year?
No, my husband was. So
It looks like the demon from the movie Demons.
they move. Yeah, you can move the face. But I have to fix him. His horn's missing. So I just have all kinds of little projects that I have to get done all around me, like a proper office. So
Yeah,
if we're going to be talking about organizing things on our phone, I'm not the best of people to do that.
Well, then you probably are going to love the new home screen stuff because you don't have to do any organizing.
I
You
need
just
that.
leave it. Just ignore it. It
I need
goes
it.
away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so good.
So this week, well, actually, it's been quite a few weeks ago. There were some rumors that came out, or some leaks that we thought maybe were right or possibly not right. We're not sure that Apple was going to replace the current Lightning cable with a braided Lightning cable, and we got a couple more pictures of that this week. Not only is it a braided Lightning cable, but there's also a black version. And these are Lightning cables. The rumor is that these are actually Apple branded, and there's a chance that these will be coming with the new iPhone 12 that comes out later this year. So I love a braided cable so much. It's such a pleasant experience. It feels rough and lasting.
But they don't fray the same way. Like the plastic frays, and I I have so many cables, and like they're all really, really short. So I like the fact that it looks like it's going to be longer. Yay. Because it's like I have to stick, like, they're like this long and I have to sit right next to the table, but they do fray, the plastic frays, and that becomes a danger issue. If, there was a girl that was electrocuted by plugging in her phone, there was a frayed cable, and then her phone fell into the bathtub, and that's it. So having a frayed cable, though, you still shouldn't have that happen at all because there's still a danger. But having a frayed cable is a really big deal. And a lot of people throw out their cables because they're not made to last, which is strange for Apple products because usually they do make things that, will survive. And none of my frayed cables have any, damage to them. They look really good. So I'm excited.
Your
about
braided
that.
cables.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. Braided cables.
Yes. I think so. What's interesting to me about this is we have also heard a rumor that Apple will not be including a wall plug with the new iPhone and iPad. So what's going on here? Joe, do you have like some opinions on what you think if all of these rumors end up being true, why get rid of a wall plug but make a better Lightning cable?
So this is a good question. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that there are a ton of wall plugs out there already. There, 13 years of iPhone wall plugs. What is it? 13 years that they've used the same 5-watt power brick. Since the first iPhone. So you've got a ton of those out there, and as many or more USB-A to Lightning cords. Which those power bricks will support. I think what I think is interesting here. Apple is probably looking to reduce e-waste, and whatever cost to themselves, producing those chargers requires. But they're if I had to guess that if they're going to talk about it at all, they'll talk about it in terms of e-waste. But as for the thing I find interesting about these cables is that they do appear to be USB-C to Lightning. And Apple's been going in the USB-C direction anyway, but all of its iPhone chargers, at least most of the chargers that people have are USB-A power bricks. So I think the idea is you plug this into a computer, or they're going to sell. Maybe maybe they'll just count on people to buy the current crop of USB-C chargers.
Do you think it's possible that this isn't what's coming in the box with the next iPhone? That was a complaint that happened, after Apple updated all of its MacBook lineup with USB-C only, and then launched the next iPhone after that, which I think would probably have been the iPhone 10, I guess. And it had USB-A to Lightning. And so there's a lot of complaints of like, you literally can't even plug your iPhone into your Mac right now. Thank you, Apple. Why did you do that to us? Yeah. But we're still kind of going back and forth with, will Apple make USB-C iPhones, which I think there were also rumors earlier this year that no, Apple will actually jump right from Lightning all the way to portless and wireless charging. They're not going to have the USB-C interim. And there's more. There's also the European Union had their regulation that USB-C had to be the new standard. So, with all of these things in mind, is this going to be the cable that comes with an iPhone, or is it something they're just going to let you buy later? They have like the premium braided cable. Will it only be available in Europe, but in the US we'll still have USB-A cables? If they're going to do a USB-C to Lightning, I feel like they have to include a wall port because not everybody has USB-C wall ports.
Yeah,
Georgia, what do you think?
PC computers.
I would hope that they have, though I'm on the fence of like I'm angry about them not putting the wall ports into the box anyways, because a lot of people they're switching over, this might be their new phone. Like at least you could have like it's free to pick up if you need to. I don't see them putting the braided cord in because I don't think that they really have to. I think people have kind of accepted the cheap plastic white cords. And so I could see them being, that's something that you can purchase if you would like. But, people, it's not something that people really complain about. Like it is, it is annoying and they do, fray. And if you've had one for a long time and you place it, especially since the way that the phone now stands with it being at the bottom, there's a lot of chance that it's going to be bent most of the time. But I don't see them putting it into the box right away. I just don't think that it's necessary. I think that they'll make the transition. You can purchase them. They'll see how many people buy them, and then they'll decide whether that will cover kind of their shift in manufacturing. And then after that, it's less costly to them. Not that it's vastly expensive to have a braided cord versus a plastic cord, but it is more expensive.
Now, one of the things to note about this particular story is that Love to Dream, the source of this particular leak, is that the black USB-C to Lightning cable in that photo is apparently from the iMac Pro, which
from the iMac Pro.
Yeah.
Oh, so, like that would be something that comes with the iMac Pro?
I would say that either it comes with the iPad or iMac Pro, or that Apple will sell alongside the iMac Pro.
That makes so much more sense because your peripherals, your keyboard and your trackpad and your mouse are Lightning, but your Mac is USB-C. That makes a lot more sense than it being something that would be included with an iPhone. Because
and it does look bigger and like a longer, thicker. It looks in the pictures like a thicker, longer cord. It might just be because the color is black in that one that it looks thicker to me. But it also looks like the material is more like a cloth, like not even a traditional braided string cord, but more of a cloth cord. Or is that just, am I just looking at it differently than both of you do?
I think so. I know it's on the black one, it's definitely hard to tell, but you can kind of see the pattern in the white one, and it does look braided. Not just a cloth covering, but it actually does look like a braided cable there. Yeah. But no,
I see it if I pull it up. Yeah, it looks more like
it's
soft,
really the
like
white
material.
One. Yeah. The white one is the one that has like a little bit better view of it. So, I think, but this also kind of comes back again to like the kind of thoughts of what people want versus what Apple gives. Like, will we get a wall plug at all in the box with the new iPhone? Will it be, if we do get it, will it be USB-C to Lightning? Because the iPad Pro, and Steve Perry says the 11 Pro. Joe, is that right? Let me think. So no, it didn't. Oh yeah. So I'm sorry. The iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max did come with a Lightning to USB-C cable. Isn't that right?
That's actually a good question.
I
wirelessly charge these things.
Yeah.
I just have so many cable. I don't like. I'm not. I have so many. I'm not really. But I believe that it did.
Yeah,
I think I remember unwrapping it in my head. I remember unwrapping it and being like, pulling off the little plastic piece that's there that I'm like, you really don't need to do this. If you want to talk about e-waste, like just don't put the little plastic to protect it from scratch. I'm fine.
Those little things, you're right.
Yeah.
But so I think so if they're heading that direction anyway by replacing USB-A on at least one side of the cable with USB-C.
I have it on high regard. Lightning. It does. Okay, I got a message from someone on the up and up that it did, and a higher watt charger. I wonder who that could be.
Yes. It's so funny that I just wirelessly charged that. I have a box full of USB-A, USB-C, Lightning, micro USB, wall plugs, literally a huge box full
So
of
is
this
that what
stuff.
you give away as gifts? Do you give little grab bags of like little tech treats to people?
You know, what I do love to do is when people are visiting, I plug in all kinds of things for them so that they don't even have to worry about using their own and leaving it behind and
Oh,
forgetting
that's
it.
so nice.
Or if somebody is hanging out with me and they lost theirs or can't find theirs, I'm like, I got extra. I'll give you 10 of them because I got too many. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think there's when you think about the waste that will come along, like we already talk a lot about phone waste, and Apple has been doing a really great job of trying to use as much of iPhone parts and Mac parts and iPad parts for recycling. And hopefully that will get better with like technology allowing it to happen. But guess what never gets recycled are cables and wall plugs, and they come with every single phone. Even if you return your phone, you don't have to return the cable. So most people have them in their house. With every speaker that you get, I mean, they're just, like I said, I have a huge box full of cables and cords and wall plugs that I never use. And it's crazy. And
can you give them to the recycling program? Can you bring in to an Apple store a used cable so that they can, I forget which robot it is that dismantles, but do they even take them?
They won't like make you take it back, but they don't want them. They don't recycle.
So what if they don't recycle them at all?
Right. I'm not sure where they go. I would say, and this actually gives me a really good idea of like just filling up a box and taking it to a donation center to, like an organization that could use it. Like
women shelters need old phones and charging cables because a lot of people have to leave very quickly, and so they don't have access to be able to grab that. So it's a good place to give.
Yeah, I think you've made me think of something of like, okay, now it's time for me to clean this out. It's no joke. If somebody asks me for, like, do you have a spare micro SD, or not micro SD, but micro USB cable? That's the one I have the most of because of all the accessories. It's just, I have so many. I used to put a little sticker on each one for like what it came with, because there was so many that I got confused and mixed up. And then I stopped caring because it's like, well, it's like one cable to rule them all. So as long as I have one, I've got one for all of the things that do it. So yeah,
I do hear that we can actually return them, like a frayed wire, that you can return them to an Apple store, and that they used to, I don't know about anymore, but that they would replace them for free. I don't know if that's still the case. I don't know if anyone in chat could say that they've actually done that, but there are articles on people just going with their frayed cords, and it doesn't look like you did something that, you shouldn't have to it.
You weren't, you weren't slicing off pieces.
They're not gnawed
no.
at, right? Yeah. I guess if you were chewing on it, they're probably not gonna do that. But yeah, and I just don't know if you don't have Apple Care if they would still do it. But I believe
like how
Apple
long?
Care, you're fine. Yeah. But they wouldn't know how old the cable is. Like maybe if it looks, black instead of white on a white cable, then maybe they'd be like, well, this is probably older than a year. But they wouldn't really know. I
would think that that's probably an easy replaceable thing for Apple, that would be something that they actually would love to be. Like at REI, you can, take back your snow pants that you wore for 5 years and they'll replace it. It's probably a thing like that where like no matter how old it is, Apple will take it back in or out of Apple Care. That's probably like a service they like to provide.
And they say that
it's so small.
Yeah, if you don't have Apple Care, to make an appointment at the Genius Bar and bring your receipt or proof of purchase for the year. I doubt they're carbon dating it. They wouldn't be able to carbon date it within a year anyway. So I think that you're fine if it might not be within a year. But within that, I don't think that they would really give you a hard time because they don't want people to get hurt on their products either. They do care about keeping people safe. Yeah. And it is a safety issue. You could, of course, use electrical tape on it as well, but really just replace them. Like go spend the time. get it
I've
replaced.
used I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I always do. It's Shugru or Shurgu.
Oh, Sirguru. That
Thank you.
little it
It's
looks like
like
Fimo, and
mhm,
you can use that. Okay, tell
manipulate
me.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
I've used it to fix lightning cables all the time. You just like in that little frayed thing on the end, you just kind of like massage in a little piece of it.
Yes.
Bam, you're good.
Now, is it flexible or
Yeah.
is it hard at the end? Still flexible.
Nope, it's flexible. Yeah, yeah.
Ah.
That's why it works so well on I have a pair of headphones where the headphone cracked at the tip, and I just like gobbed all that stuff on there to like put it back in
Wonderful.
place, and it totally worked. Yeah, that stuff is pretty amazing.
Okay, I'm going to add that to my
it
stuff.
hardens, but it
Yeah.
doesn't. It's like a flexible harden. So yeah,
And you can close it up so the rest of it doesn't get ruined.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
like
putting it
using
together.
Play-Doh or something. You have to keep it in an airtight container when you're not using it. But
When you're not
yeah.
using it. No, it'll go there with my flex tape.
Yeah. So, Joe, would you buy an Apple braided cable? Like considering think about all the cables you already have in your house. Would you buy an Apple braided cable?
Well, maybe once my current cables start fraying. But it also depends on what's its price relative to other braided cables.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh,
I do
yeah,
have a
of
whole
course.
bunch of other braided cables. I don't find they charge as well.
Hmm.
The Amazon brand of braided cables. I probably just
Mhm.
bought a cheaper. They're long, which is awesome, but
Yeah, that's what they are. They're you can buy basically an electronic rope
yes.
from third-party manufacturers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've used the same lightning cable in my car for CarPlay. It's a braided lightning cable for the last like 3 years, and it shows no signs of wear and tear.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where
Do you remember the brand?
Anchor. It's an
Anchor.
cable.
Anchor makes a good one. I have they sent me, this is so funny to me. Of course it's not within reach. Oh, here we go. They sent me, I don't know why they did this, but I have to give them a shout out for it. It's a gold plated. This is gold plated. A
Oh,
gold plated
nice.
lightning cable.
It
It's
looks
so funny.
beautiful.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah. This is the question.
When they got in touch with me and they're like, "Hey, we just wanted to let you know that we're going to be sending you out a gold-plated lightning cable," I was like, "That's great. Why?"
How come this though?
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, Anchor.
They make a good braided cable. They definitely do.
It's
Yeah.
that their cables are like I have them for everything.
Yeah, they're
That's
good.
the other source of my cables.
Yeah.
Apple and Anchor.
Okay, so let's see. The next thing we can talk about is let's talk a little bit about the iPhone Photography Awards. The winners were just announced just 2 days ago. This is so much fun to look at these things because it shows you that you're only, as a photographer, you're only as good as your own eye. It doesn't matter what you have in your pocket. It doesn't matter the amount of money you spend on your camera. If you have a good eye, if you know how to create a good composition, you can use. One of the winners is the picture is from an iPhone 6. So it's not even the most advanced camera. Just having a good eye lets you take a good picture. So there's a bunch of different categories. They have the main photography of the year award. They have abstract, animals, architecture, children, floral, landscape, lifestyle, nature, news events, other, panorama, people, portrait, series, still life, sunset, travel, and trees. And everyone that participates, they get name recognition. The winner receives a gold brick, which I think is pretty fun. But some of these pictures that you look at that are taken on, with, the most advanced iPhone, the iPhone 11 Pro, or even iPhone 11, what's really impressive is seeing okay, now I realize like how advanced the iPhone is. These aren't edited with any desktop software. You're allowed to use an iOS app to filter or edit a photo, but you're not allowed to use like Photoshop or anything on a desktop. And the fact that these come out so beautifully is pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but it really does show you that you want to have a good product, right? So having a good phone does help, but you do need to have an eye for being able to see things. The photos are stunning. Like they're absolutely
just breathtaking.
Yeah, beautiful. And the wonderful thing is if you're thinking about doing that, or you think that you have some good photos, you should enter, because you can enter as many photos as you would like. And it's a fun thing to be a part of. Even if you don't win, it's a wonderful thing to be a part of.
It also makes me feel really good about like the silly little pictures that I take. Because I look at some of these and I think, yeah, I've actually taken a picture not entirely unlike this. So yeah, like I think phones, not just the iPhone, but just all of our mobile phones, Android and even, Windows Phone back when they had them, just having a camera on it, it gives us all the opportunity to be photography hobbyists in a way that we couldn't before. When I was a kid and, up until my early 20s, I would have to, use a point and shoot camera, a digital, or before that film. And I didn't just walk around every day with it. I would get one or bring one with me when I took trips. I love taking pictures. I love taking like family memories. That's like my favorite thing to do. But then since the first iPhone that I got with the camera, I find myself just taking pictures of things that didn't really, I didn't have to worry about it. I just saw something and I thought, at the angle that I'm looking at, the way these two house roofs are offset and the sun is shining between them, I just like the way that looks. I can take a picture of it. Like it's so fun to be able to just use this thing that's in your pocket. And the way photography, digital photography on phones has advanced so much that they actually look good. Like that, I think that was always a frustrating thing early on when we were doing that, is like, oh, I took this really great picture, but man, it doesn't really look right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't look the way that it looks to my eye. The photo does not compare. And now it's pretty close. Like maybe sunsets are a little bit less exciting, but they're really close. And I think that for taking photos of people, they really look beautiful. Like not the fake, you don't have any pores, too beautiful. But realistic, but the coloring is very complementary. I think they made a huge shift on really understanding that in the end, like a sunset, even if it's a little off, no one really cares. But if I look a little bit jaundiced or a little bit too green, I might not like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love the way that it takes photos of people. They're really beautiful photos.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the portrait lighting effects, I think, can be so much fun, and it's still problematic. They get better and better. They really do. It's really better than it was before, but there's still some problems with portrait lighting. And all you got to do is switch to the black background or white ground to see those kind of things. But with that in mind, the fact that you can adjust now the bokeh effect really makes a difference in, like, I might take a picture of something and it kind of looks too fake. That face, the person's face or whatever, is so starkly so stark, but then the background is so blurred that like, ooh, that looks very fake. And so I just dial back the bokeh effect a little, and suddenly this looks like I could have taken it with a DSLR camera, which I think is the ultimate goal of any mobile phone, is to get on par with a lens camera. And if they can come close to that with digital computation, I think, and I think by the iPhone 11, they've done it. They've hit that mark where they're using the dual lenses that allow for optical zoom, coupled with the computational photography. They kind of like, they did it, like it's close. It's very close. I think the next thing is far off shots, like long zoom lenses. I think that would be a great thing if Apple could manage to hyper zoom, but
Yep, I
not
love
have
that.
the noise. Yeah.
Yeah. And dark mode. It's a huge difference of taking
yeah.
photos in the dark now. It's
Yeah.
really quite stark difference of how much, by keeping the aperture open for that long and all the computations that they do, you really do get this photo that at nighttime you can take a really good shot of something and know what it is.
It blows my mind how much light the iPhone 11 Pro, iPhone 11, iPhone 11 Pro Max can suck in with night mode. It doesn't turn night into day, but it definitely it just sucks in whatever ambient light is around in order to really give you the clear picture that you want. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. I like it. Joe, do you use night mode a lot?
I don't take photos on my phone a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of the photos I take these days are for work, and I use my mirrorless camera for that. My my standalone camera.
So interestingly, so Joe is talking about like our pictures for our articles. We'll take a picture of our computers or our iPads or something like that, and you want to get a really nice looking picture for the article, right? I used to use a DSLR camera for that until iPhone 10, and once iPhone 10 came out, I was like, these are good enough, and they take really good pictures. So
Really good
yes. Joe takes some of the best pictures that we have on our website. He's very good. It's not just the mirrorless camera though. Joe has really great composition. So, Joe, I would love for you to experiment with using your iPhone to take pictures as pictures for the articles and see in your own personal opinion the difference between that and using your mirrorless camera.
That's an I don't want to. That was an I don't want to grumble.
Look, I agree with you that the iPhone can take some amazing pictures, but an iPhone versus a standalone camera in the hands of someone with a
skill,
like these folks with these absolutely stunning iPhone pictures, well-deserved awards. I think you're always going to get better results with the standalone camera if someone has the eye.
Skill. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna argue against it a little bit. And I think Renee's pictures that he takes are a really great example of that. He takes a lot of pictures just using an iPhone, and they look absolutely stunning. And it's about the composition. It's about having that little coffee cup in the background of the thing you take, or, having the right angle of your computer, juxtaposed up against something softly lit in the background. And a lot of the pictures he takes are just on his iPhone, and they look really, really good.
I think though it's also ease of use, right? Like it's easier. Your phone is already with you. It's not, you don't have to, it's not, again, it's an expensive piece of equipment, but it's not, a $5,000 lens that could be broken and this cord and that, and you have to lug it all around and make sure it's put together. And I forgot about the battery. The ease of use in between it, unless you're doing something that is very specialized and you're very skilled at it, I think that now the difference for most people would not be worth it. I think that for professionals, they'll make use of it. They know how to do it. And that probably will still be, we're still far away from being able to capture something that you can capture with a specialized camera. But that being said, it's with you. It's easy. It probably won't break if you drop it. And it's light, and there's very little processing. Like the wonderful thing is that the phone, like you can do everything on the phone, and it's kind of just done, and you know what you get immediately. And I think that that's why a lot of people are choosing not to take photos with their expensive camera. Like I have a beautiful camera, but I'm like,
most people don't need a standalone camera. Most people are good with their phone.
Yeah. Think about, when you were a kid and you went to Disneyland or some theme park, and there were so many people lugging around big cameras, or they were, trying to drag their point and shoot out of their backpack or something like that.
Or on the wrist strap. The
Yeah,
button shoot on the
all
wrist
that.
strap.
So many cameras lost at theme parks. So many cameras lost. I myself lost one at a theme park.
Oh,
And I know it was very tragic. But you don't have to do that anymore because you can grab those shots at the last minute just because it's right there in your pocket. Your kid does something adorable, runs through the fountain, and they only did it once and you can't make them do it again. So you have your phone ready and just bam, you took that really cute picture. Turned out great. It's a lot of fun. I love that we have cameras on our phones. It's pretty exciting. It also makes me think about the iPhone SE, which I just recently wrote my 3-month later review of the iPhone SE. So I've been using it for the past 3 months. I've been using it since April. I
Wow.
switched over from the iPhone 11 Pro. At first I thought maybe I'll give it a try for a couple of weeks. And then it became like, oh, this is absolutely so much nicer. The iPhone 11 Pro, it's heavy to me. I don't like it anymore.
heavy, yeah.
Even though I like the technology in it and I love the camera in it, I don't like holding it anymore now that I've been holding the iPhone
Right.
SE. And the camera of the iPhone SE, it's not as good. It doesn't have optical zoom at all. It doesn't have dual lenses, but it does have a 12 megapixel wide angle lens. And especially if I'm outdoors and I can suck in all the outdoor lighting, it takes fantastic photos. And it's just a basic 12 megapixel wide angle lens camera. It has, optical stabilization, all the little features that the iPhone 11 Pro has, but doesn't have the optical zoom, doesn't have the multiple lenses. It's pretty great for a $399 camera, a $399 phone. It really does match like a lot of what I want from a camera. Obviously, there's, if you're on the level where you want to submit something to the iPhone Photography Awards, maybe you are more interested in like more professional photography stuff. But I took a picture at night in my backyard. It was nighttime out. So like it wasn't sunset. It wasn't the golden hour. It was nighttime. And I have, just some little string lights across the backyard. That was the only lighting in the backyard. And I took a little picture of a skull that was sitting in a flower pot in my backyard. It was beautiful. It looked great. It was not too dark. It was bright. It sucked in all the light. It did a really great job of that. And there's no such thing as night mode on the iPhone SE, but it still managed to take a really great photo. So I just wanted to bring that up of like, I've been kind of talking a lot lately about how much I love, this smaller phone. It's not the original iPhone SE. It's not that small, but I love, love, love the portability of this phone. And if there's anyone out there who's, you're on your iPhone 6, iPhone 7, iPhone 8, and you're thinking about upgrading, iPhone SE is a fantastic phone.
For a great
You're not
price.
going to be disappointed. Yeah, the price is
The
amazing.
price you can't be beat, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So just thought I'd throw that out there.
That makes me wonder, Lori, is the rumor right now is that there's going to be a 5.4-inch iPhone 12 that is physically smaller than the
than the iPhone SE too. Yeah.
Is
so
that something that appeals to you?
Of course. So I think the idea of this, if it's true, means a phone case-wise that's very similar. There's 2020 iPhone SE, maybe slimmer and longer, but about the same size, but bezel-less or near bezel-less, which I think, that's one of the things that I like. My argument in the fact that the size of the display of the SE 2020 SE is good enough is that I also have an iPad. So if I really want to engage with a screen, I switch over to my iPad. But if I'm just checking a text message or I'm just watching a real quick video clip or checking an email, it's the perfect size because it's not something that I need all the time. I have an alternative. So for people who it's their main screen or their only screen, I can see why something larger like an iPhone 11 would be better. iPhone 11 Pro would be better.
But
But
it is nice to be able to one-hand your phone,
oh
right?
yes.
Like that
Oh
would be
yes.
the piece that would call to me, is that I can't almost do anything I have small hands, so I
Yeah.
can't do anything one-handed on my phone, where if a smaller size factor, I could.
Mhm.
And so it's actually used up one of my tools. I can't do something,
Mhm.
I can't even hold a drink and,
Right.
really reply to a text.
Yeah.
I don't
Without cramping up your fingers.
it just,
Yeah.
I have to risk dropping the phone
Yep.
is
I know.
what would happen, which is not a good idea.
Put a case on it and then it suddenly becomes like way too thick, even if you use a thin case.
Right.
But yeah, but
Right.
if there were a phone that was about the size of the 2020 SE, but it had edge-to-edge screen, that would be such a benefit to so many people. That would make it like, I think a lot of people would buy that one over the premium phone. I definitely think so.
I think so.
Yeah, it'd be a good one. I hope it's true. I think that's a winner for me. I would definitely do that. Before we move on, I would like to tell you a little bit about our sponsor this week, Raycon. Raycon makes some earbuds that are really making waves these days. So I use earbuds when I work out at home. I don't like having a speaker that's just blasting music everywhere, especially if my partner's home and he's trying to watch a movie, but I'm trying to work out. I feel like having the music in my ears it keeps me focused. And Raycon makes in-ear earbuds that are sweatproof, and they're the fraction of the price of many of the premium earbuds on the market. They also come in a lot more colors than some earbuds that we might not want to talk about right now. The newest model of the everyday E25 earbuds from Raycon promise 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design for a noise isolating fit. They're great for professional meetings like conference calls and interviews. They fit snugly into your ears, so they're much less noticeable. They're almost like a little dot that goes in your ear. There's no stem that sticks out. They don't hook around your ear. They just kind of stick in there. They're great for professional. Oh, I'd already said that. Raycon was co-founded by Ray J, the hip hop artist Ray J, and celebrities like Snoop Dogg and Cardi B have also been spotted wearing them. You can pick up a pair today for 15% off if you visit buyray.com/imore. That's BUYRAYCON.com/imore and get 15% off of Raycon wireless earbuds. Again, that's buyraycon.com/imore. Thank you to Raycon for being this week's sponsor of the iMore Show. All right.
I have a pair. They sent me a pair. They're really very comfortable.
Nice.
They're very comfy, and they don't, when you're like when I use my earbuds for sleeping or when I'm on a pillow, they do this when my ear touch. They're really,
my hair does that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know
They're
exactly
really
what you're talking about.
Very comfortable, good sound. And they come in, they're black, which is nice because.
And they come in like pink and
they come in
blue
pink, red, and blue.
Yeah.
They come in other colors as well, but I'm just happy that
they come in something other than white. I know.
Yeah. Just gonna. I'm ready. Come on.
Yeah. No kidding. So another thing that happened this week, Twitter apparently is mulling over the idea of possibly offering a subscription for using Twitter. My guess is it's more of a premium tiered version. Like maybe you can actually edit your tweets if you have a subscription. So I just wanted to ask you too what you think about that. Would you pay for a subscription to Twitter?
Oh, no. Not no. I mean, like, think of all, there is a dark side to Twitter, as I'm sure most people know. And I think ask people who receive, attention from that darker side, more than say I do. Would you pay for this? No.
What if they had better privacy features? They said that your tweets would be secure. We would not be giving to anyone, not to advertisers, not like we will.
Mm.
You choose to wipe it, we will wipe it from like the mainframe. It's, oh, look at you with your cute cup. Sorry, sorry, Lori's drinking. Lori, I apologize, Lori. Lori was drinking.
Caught me off guard.
Lori's drinking Renee Ritchie's cups. I don't even
What-
have one yet. You're just
What
a
really
friend.
made me laugh just now was that I've been like like really trying to make it noticeable.
Notice them. Lori, I love it. Oh, that looks so good.
Yeah, it came yesterday. My Renee Ricci mug came yesterday, which
Ah.
I should tell everybody where to buy it. So
Yeah.
as we're talking about Twitter, I'm going to look up the link and then I'm going to tell people where they can buy it if they want one. So sorry to break into that, but Georgie, you were talking about what, like maybe if they were offering it as a privacy subscription.
Yeah. If it was private, if they, you could delete things, if they added, like you really could curate your experience, but also you could wipe things if you so needed to, so that, 10 years later, someone's not going to be coming after you for something that you said in a heat of the moment, and you could get it fully scrubbed. That would be, I wouldn't pay for it, I don't think, but that would be at least interesting. And I think that if you were someone that's in politics or a government official or a celebrity where, you don't want to end up part of cancel culture's, wrath, it would be a little bit more safe. But also if they had security features where they don't have to worry about your account being hacked and then used nefariously, that might be something that would be a better feature than I don't care about, advertisement or not. I'm pretty neutral, and I don't see it anymore.
Yeah,
So that doesn't bother me.
what if they could just remove the ability of one of those employee panels from touching your account?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would. My guess for this is one of the things it would include would be automatic verification. Like as soon as you start paying, you're verified.
That makes sense. Yeah. That would definitely be, I would say
Pay
that
for play.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well, it's so easy to actually. Sorry, I actually just found the link, so I've got excited. It's so easy to get verified now that that's almost not a big deal anymore. Like they really made it
Is it
easier to do
anymore?
that. It is. Yeah, it's still really easy to do it. You just have to ask, basically. You just have to prove that you're a human being, that you are who you say
You're
you
not a
are.
bot.
So, yeah, it's not that hard. It used to be like only important people, and now it's like anybody. But
Everybody's important.
I wish that Renee were actually on like talking with us about this right now, because he's somebody who's, I would call a power user on Twitter. I am, like probably a quarter of the amount of a user that Renee is. And I think if you are going to offer me advanced features like certain things on timelines, additional ways that you can, divvy out how your tweets are being seen, things like scheduling tweets, I would say no. I won't pay for that. I don't want those features. I don't care. Like, not me, but I can see how somebody like Renee might benefit from something like that. I would not. If the subscription is something like what you're talking about, Georgia, where if you're a subscriber, we lock down your account so that it's not included with any kind of shared data sharing that we do. I would pay for that. I would pay for that privacy and reliability for sure. But that's it. Like just like the two of you. And again, we are not power users, so we are definitely not the people that they're looking at when they're considering subscriptions. And I do think, a lot of social media, it really does kind of struggle with how to make money and do what it does, because it's a free service, so like the money has to come from somewhere. And if subscribing to Twitter helps reduce how much they share our data for money, I think that's a benefit to everybody. I also think that if the situation where you either pay or you don't get to use the service, I'd just stop using the service. I'm just not that interested in Twitter to make that kind of a change. But if Twitter started from the beginning as a subscription service, I would have started paying for it. I would have done it right away. But they already, they already have my information. They're already sharing my information with other places. And I can't take that. I can't get that back. I can't.
No.
They're not going to give me back all the information that they've been gathering about me over the past few years. So with that, they don't deserve my money, because they've already taken something from me. They've already taken something very, very worth a lot, and I just didn't. It's just because it's not actual cash dollars. So they've already got my money. In other words.
14 years is a little late on that one.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So let's see. I was wrong. I thought I found the actual, I don't know if Renee is actually listening to us and would want to help me out to find the actual link. It's on Standard. It's the Renee Ricci logo mug from the website standard.tv. Let's see, maybe I can do a search for it.
Here we go. Okay, so it is standard.tv/collections/Renee-Ricci.
Love this. Thank you. Thank you.
And then it is a plum looking mug.
It's gorgeous.
A beautiful looking mug.
So first of all, the logo that was designed, Renee had somebody design it. He has told me who it was before, but I forgot. The logo is gorgeous, but the color, it's not quite black. It's black, but it has this like
a black
navy blueness.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's like a midnight blue.
Yeah, and it works so well against the colors of the logo. It's such a gorgeous mug. I really, really love it. So yeah.
I can't wait for those t-shirts. I need a t-shirt. Renee, make some t-shirts too.
Yeah, I would wear and the lapel pins or the enamel pins. I have my vector pin, but I need a Renee Ricci pin for sure.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think we should probably point out that Renee is not a sponsor of the show.
Renee is not a sponsor of the show. We are just huge fans of Renee Ricci.
Love Renee. We just love Renee.
Look, just because we're big fans, come on. Something else I wanted to bring up. So this year marks the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Renee did, sorry, not Renee. Apple did. They had this really great news news release that interviewed a handful of people with disabilities who use Apple products to do things in life. I think there's a lawyer, a musician, a teacher, a photographer. These are all people who have disabilities that use technology. And obviously, in this case, they are people who use Apple technology to do things. And I love talking about accessibility and technology because people who don't have disabilities don't even think about the importance of this. For example, we talk about this a lot and with the team at iMore, people who are visually impaired, and they want to look at pictures. Just because there's a person who's sight impaired and there's a picture on the page, that doesn't mean they don't want to know what that picture is. Mm-hmm. They might have some sight, but it's blurred. Or even if they're dark blind, they want to know that there's something being expressed on that page too. And the assumption being that people without sight don't care about pictures or don't want to take pictures, which is another big deal to me too. people like to take selfies and share them with other people. If you're sight impaired, it doesn't mean you don't want to take a picture of yourself or take a picture of something else. They're doing life the way we're all doing life. And when Apple, they've been of the forefront of accessibility and technology all along. I've always known this about them. I've always seen this about them. Even before I was writing about technology, I remember thinking, isn't that interesting that they're doing this stuff I'd never thought of before? They've been the head of the train that is pulling the rest of technology along, reminding them to make technology a tier 1 feature. You come up with your new feature like night mode, and then you make sure step 2, make sure that it's accessible. Like they're always thinking of accessibility in the forefront. So I wanted to bring that up and kind of talk about a little bit with accessibility and technology.
On that particular point, Lori, about them bringing the rest of the technology industry with them. Last year, one of the major updates that Apple made across iPhone, iPad, and Mac with iOS 13 and macOS Catalina was they completely overhauled their voice commands.
Yes.
So that you can completely navigate their various interfaces using your voice. And I thought, first of all, it's incredibly powerful and incredibly useful, even if you don't have motor issues, which kind of motivated the reformation of these features. But one of the things that I think it was just like a month or two ago, Google introduced in Android a new set of comprehensive voice command features. I don't know if it's currently in the Android beta or if it's part of Android 10. But yeah, it just goes to show what that kind of leadership, results in.
Exactly. It only takes one major player to remind all the other players, like, oh yeah, that we got to make sure that we do this too. And it doesn't matter who did it first or who does it best. Just the fact that all tech companies now are starting to keep that in their considerations when they're making their technology, of making sure that it's accessible for everybody, for all walks of life, for whatever your motor skills are. So happy anniversary to the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, because that is the littlest things, like what direction a door opens, is such a big deal for people. It doesn't do anything negative to people who don't have a disability, but it does everything for people who do have disabilities. So, congratulations, and let's celebrate the Americans with Disabilities Act and embrace our brothers and sisters with accessibility needs, because they do all kinds of amazing, wonderful things for us that we wouldn't have half the stuff we have today if it weren't for the amazing things they do for us. So that's it. And we have come down to the end of our hour. It has been a very low-key episode. Just chilling, relaxing, thinking about swimming. And thank you to everybody who joined us this week and had all your fun things to say. It was really great seeing you there. It's great to have you. MX4211 does say the Renee Ricci logo looks a lot like the Screen Rant logo. Is it the same designer? So Renee, I don't think it is. I think I remember you telling me who it is.
It's
I doubt
Forgotten Towel on Twitter. And
thank you.
Yes.
Forgotten Towel on Twitter. Georgia, you've got an in with somebody special, I'm thinking. So thank you again to everybody who's listened live. And we do podcast every Friday. We try to make it happen at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And we're live on YouTube. And for everybody who listens to us after it's live on iTunes, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate that. Or watching us live on YouTube, because we do that too. After we're done, it stays up on our channel, so you can watch it anytime you want. And thank you to Jim Metzendorf for all the wonderful things he does to edit us and make us sound good. I did cough into the microphone when I did my little spit take. I don't know if that has to come out or not. It's kind of funny. I think we should keep it in.
You should leave it in. You should leave it in.
But if you don't
lower
hear
it if
a
it's going to
spit
make
take-
anyone go deaf.
Yeah,
Because if
you
not, the
don't
rest
hear
of
a
it-
spit take, it's because Jim did that for us. So thank you. And thank you to Renee for giving us something fun to talk about today with your great logo. And if you want to check out his videos, you can go to youtube.com/Renee Ritchie, because he is really impressive. And we miss him here at the iMore Show. Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you. This has been the iMore Show.